Rise and Shine Superstars, it's your favorite like Coach MB, and today is a great day to be alive. Why? Because you are still here. So stop what you're doing, comment below, and scream at the top of your lungs. Come through if you are thankful that God woke you up this morning, because guess what? Gratitude is the absolute best way for you to start your day. And if for some reason you're not grateful to still be alive, find one reason today why you should be. Realize that you are here for a reason. And this message is for you today. So stay tuned, because whatever you're going through right now is only temporary. It's not going to last forever. It's tough. I get it. But you'll make it out stronger than you were before. So don't make a permanent decision based off of a temporary situation. People aren't defined by their past unless they choose to be. That's a quote from professional sports psychologist Trevor Moawad. He's the author of a book called It Takes What It Takes. You should definitely read it. People are not defined by their past unless they choose to be. Do you hear these words? You have a choice. Every day you wake up, you have a choice to be grateful, to be excited about what's going on now and what's going to happen in the future, or to keep dwelling on your past. It's so easy for us to shift our focus from what we should be focused on, what we have, to all of the past hurts and the traumas that we've been through. We've only been on this planet. It doesn't matter how old you are. You've only been on this earth for a short amount of time. If you just look over the entirety of the existence of this planet and how much longer it's going to exist after you're here. We're just a snapshot, not even a snapshot on the extension of this life, of this earth. And we don't have that much time. It's not like we have the ability to do something to make ourselves live longer and be here for 150 years and keep going through the past and saying, okay, I'm finally ready to get over it. The longer that you dwell on the past, the more you're robbing yourself of your future. It's so easy for some reason for us to keep reliving and dwelling on the negativity that we've experienced in the past, and it's hard for us to focus on the beauty that's in the now. The past can be 10 years ago, it can be 10 weeks ago, it can be 10 minutes ago. What are you allowing yourself to focus on? Are you just hoarding that energy, that shame, that guilt, that trauma, whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through now? Is that your focus? Is that what you're like believing? Because the more you focus on that, you're just telling your future self that that's all you're worth. Whatever I've been through, that's all you're worth. Whatever pain has happened, that's all you're worth. Whatever trauma we've experienced, that's all you're worth. Whatever misery that we've lived through, that is all you're worth. That's exactly what you're telling your future self. If you want better for yourself, then you have to want better for yourself. You have to believe better for yourself. We can't keep dwelling on the negativity of our past, because that's what's defining our future. How people see us, how the world sees us and views us, is how we present ourselves to it. People treat us how we allow them to treat us. And it may sound like some people won't agree with that. People don't believe that. But it's the truth. Because somebody can do something to you once, and you have a choice right then and there to stay or to leave. And if you choose to stay, you're giving that person the idea and the authority to do whatever it was that they did to you the first time to hurt you, to do it again. Fool me once, shame on you, right? Fool me twice, shame on me. And that's what's happening when we allow other people to treat us constantly over and over in a way that we don't want to be treated, or we don't deserve to be treated. But it all stems back to how we view ourselves. We can't keep putting the onus and the pressure and the weight of how other people treat us on other people, because the energy that we're giving off is the energy that we believe we deserve. Because for some reason we keep reliving that past trauma, that misery, that pain, that regret, as if reliving it is going to help us overcome it. And all it's going to do is continue to draw us back to a place and time that when we were there, we wanted to get out of. You have to be focused on the person that you want to be, how you want to be treated. You have to share with the world how you want to be defined. You have to choose that. You have to choose not to allow the failures of your past, the hurt from your past, the pain from your past to define who you are now and your future self. And we're so we're so conceited, self-centered, that we think that the people who know us, and even some who don't, we think that they are looking at us and thinking about all of the mistakes that we've made through life, all of the events that we've been through life, as if they don't have their own situations that they're trying to navigate. Like you're giving too much authority to someone else who's not even thinking about you most of the time. And then you're walking around, you might as well be walking around with a sign on you. Like, when a person goes to an anonymous meeting, they have to introduce themselves. Your sign, you're walking around because you can constantly living in the past that you didn't want to be in. You're walking around with a sign that says, "Hi, my name's Patricia. I'm defined by my guilt, my abuse, my shame, my regret, my disappointment. You can just call me Pitiful Patty. That's what my friends call me." If you want better for yourself, you have to want better for yourself. You have to do better for yourself. You have to believe better for yourself. You have to expect better for yourself. Because you can't put off an energy that's saying, I'm worthless to the world, and then expect the world to expect more of you. And you can't expect the world to expect more of you than you expect of yourself. Let me put it to you like this. So there's this dog, this little mangy, raggedy, dirty, dingy, pitiful, sad looking dog that just used to walk through the neighborhood every morning. It would just slump on the side of the road. It had a old, matted, beat up, nasty, just disgusting looking rope tied around his neck, and it would just drag behind it. And every morning it would walk through the neighborhood, just as pitiful looking as it could be, looking for food, hoping that someone would pick it up, just walking up and down the neighborhood. But then in the evening time, it would be gone. And every morning, the same people who would get in their cars to get ready to go to work, they would see the same dog, pitiful looking, walking up and down the road, just slumped over, energy all low, just looking like it hadn't eaten in weeks and like it had been in fight every night. Then in the evening time, the people would return home from work and the dog wouldn't be there. So one day, there's this guy who lived on the street. He decided he wanted to find out about this dog. So he put a little mini GoPro on the rope. And then the dog went on about its way. And so when the guy accessed the footage, he saw that the dog wasn't homeless. It was actually returning back to a home that was only about 2 or 3 blocks away from there. It would go through this old hole, this small little hole in a wooden fence. And on the other side of that fence was its life of misery. On the other side of that fence, it was no place for anything or anyone to live. It was a yard. It might as well have been like a professional junkyard. It had old cars. It had old kids' play sets, old furniture, anything you could think of, it was back there. And because it was exposed to the elements, it was worn down. It was faded. Mold and mildew were growing in all kinds of places. It was just ridiculous, disgusting, and nasty. And this is where the dog stayed. It didn't have a dog house. It had a makeshift house. It would climb under this old piece of sofa and stay there, where who knows what is growing up under there. The water for the dog, it was in a white bucket, and it looked black because there was mold growing inside of the bucket. It hasn't been changed in months, years. It might just be leftover rainwater. And then there was an old tin tray that the owner would just go outside, dump a bucket of leftover scraps and slops from dinner on the tray for the dog to eat. The dog was living in misery. But every morning it would wake up, and when the owner left, it would leave. And it would go to the neighborhood and walk around just praying and hoping that somebody would rescue it. But every night before the owner got back home, the dog will return back home through that same little hole in the fence. When you keep returning to your past, you're treating yourself no better than that owner treated that little dog. You're walking out here in the world expecting other people to save you, to rescue you from your misery, from your pain, from your traumas, from your hurts, from your regrets, from your disappointments, from your failures, from the mistakes that you keep reliving over and over again because you choose to. But you're putting the weight on someone else to come rescue you, come take you off the street, come clean you up, come take you in. When you have the power to do that for yourself. That little dog, every day, it walked away from the miserable life that it had. And as soon as it left out of that fence, the pain of its past stayed in the past. It walked out into freedom every single day. But guess what? At the end of the day, it made the choice to go back to its past and relive its trauma. You've got to stop returning to a place of abuse, returning to a place of neglect, returning to a place of trauma, of pain, of doubt, of fear, of disappointment, of failures, of lack, whatever it is that you've been through. You have to stop returning back to that place if you expect something better for your future. Because you're doing yourself now and your future self a disservice. Because you keep holding on to things that are not only not serving you in the purpose and the future that you're trying to get to, but it's pulling you back. It's like having someone put a resistance band around your waist and you're trying to run, and every time you take a step forward, that person pulls you back. That person and that resistance band is your choice. And you keep going back to the past and saying, hey, past, come on, I want to go somewhere, but tie this around my waist and make it even more difficult for me to get there. Because I don't want to forget you. You've got to let it go. You have to let go of what you've been through and start seeking out the you that God created you to be. God didn't create you to relive trauma, misery, disappointment, pain. That's not what you're here for. Are you going to go through things in life? Yes. But guess what? You're going to go through them. They're not here to define you. They're not here to stop you. They're only here to make you stronger. And when you're not going through something, you're not here. A tree can't grow until it comes up through the dirt. But it doesn't go back down in the dirt every night and see where it came from. It keeps growing up. You have to keep growing forward. You have to keep your mind on who it is that you want to be, who it is you expect of yourself to be. What do you want for your future self? You have to tell your future self that you are worth more than the pain and the disappointment and the failures and the regrets and the trauma of the past when you felt like you were worth less. So today I need you to just sit down and think about what it is that I keep returning to. What old beat up sofa do I keep crawling under? What hole in the fence do I keep crawling through? What bucket of black water do I keep trying to drink? And why? You can't let it go until you figure out why you keep returning to it. What is the truth that you believe? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. What have you believed or accepted as truth for yourself? Do you believe that that's what you're worth? Do you believe that people treating you a certain way is how you should be treated? How are you treating yourself? Because how you treat yourself tells the rest of the world how they should treat you. So sit with that today. Take 10 minutes and just think, why am I going back here? And why do I keep sitting in it? When there's a whole world of freedom out there waiting for me. But you know what it is. If you don't remember anything, always remember this. It's a great day to be alive. Focus on the beauty in the now. It's a great day to be great. And it's a great day to find the greatness in you because you're worth it. Now go out there and live the greatest day of your life.